tweets. This is one of the reasons why I'm having you do tweets. 140 characters. Can you offer sort of an historical sort of contextualization of pretty much anything in 140 characters? No way, Jose. Yeah. So I don't know why she does it that way. She just does it. What's your name? Barbie? Well, sorry. I don't know what the Barbie this is. I know nothing about Barbies. But in any case. So things are fragmented. They are decontextualized, says Kathleen Hall Jameson. History is used sparingly. People just don't know their history. I mean, it's just everything sort of just a little image, a little sound bite. Look at political commercials. Boom, 30 seconds. Boom. We don't know all this stuff. So knowledge is fragmented. It's not connected to some sort of historical, larger context. It's just sort of a little blip. For instance, and I'm sort of offering you a decontextualization of contextualism. I don't know. So if I were, well, that's actually what the book is trying to do. Is trying to contextualize why, he's going to be talking about persuasion the way he's talking about persuasion, because you have to understand the culture and everything like that. But for instance, a little bit, I'll say just a few little sound bites about postmodernism, which maybe is appropriate. But in order to understand postmodernism, you need to understand modernism. And understanding modernism, you need to understand everything that came before that, and Enlightenment, and well, modernism comes out of Enlightenment, and then there's postmodern, there's everything. So, yeah. Okay, so I want to sit. I want to lay on the couch. Oh. You can't get in front of my PowerPoint, Barbie. Now you're sort of my PowerPoint. Here, get back here. There you go. QT, Quick Trip, is the best convenience store in the world. We don't have Quick Trips in Columbia. It's really bad. It's delicious water. Actually, it's Diet Coke, or it was Diet Coke, now it's water. So fragmented. The second thing, knowledge is not, we don't contextualize it. That's bad. So we don't know stuff except little bitty sound bites. The next thing from Postman is that TV culture, and again, moving on to our new media culture and everything like that. Everything it needs to appear suitable for TV. So TV is always short and to the point. People want commercials are 30 seconds. People want you at 30-minute shows. News is blah, blah, blah. Even getting to 24 hours. Blah, 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 blah. But everything's short and to the point, which goes back to the fragmentation. These things sort of blur together. But also, no complex ideas. You don't really get a whole lot of complex ideas on television. It's just there. We get a commercial about the thick burger. We get a commercial about something. And do they explain all the nutrition? Actually, that's the really good point. What you listen to the radio, or you listen to you do a television thing for medicine. They have blah 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 blah. Prohibited. You can't understand any of that stuff. May cause death. May cause death. May cause death. Blah 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 blah. But no complex ideas because they don't have time. Because air is money. Television, all that stuff, money, which is all part of it as well. And so they like things that are flashy and theatrical to get people to watch. And so the old adage in journalism, if it bleeds, it leads. We like accidents. We like fires. We like blood and death and gore. Sometimes we have a little happy news, but that's just at the end. So everything flashy, logical appeals are not privileged. Everything is entertainment or infotainment, as some people would call the news this day. Telespectacle, as Bruce Grombeck talks about the politics. Think about Trump. Think about even Clinton. All of them. It's a big show, right? It's show business. There's no business like political business, which is show business. And so if you watch the conventions this July, well, I'll talk about them a little bit. I mean, it's shows. They're television shows. They're reality, even though reality TV shows are not reality TV shows, because once they're on TV, they're not reality. And reality isn't even reality anyway, for real. But in any case, so I'll let you sort of look at all that type of stuff. I do like this idea from Marla Canning-Geeder. This idea of logography. We no longer live in a logography, a culture based on verbal texts, but in a culture characterized by omnipresent visual images. We live in the world of the visual. Even though in my Com 100 classes I try to teach arguments and all that type of stuff, we live in visual images in forms such as television, film, billboards, architecture, dress, everything, images that pop up on the internet, all visual all the time. So one of the big things, and by the way, do you even know what any of the candidates stand for? What's Hillary Clinton's position on ISIS? Have you heard about the new terrorist rap person, ISIS? The new song is ISIS, baby. That's just stupid. Sorry. But in any case, so no, we don't. It's image. I like her. I don't like the way she talks. Why don't she smile? I like the way he talks. He's straight and to the point. He's a good old boy, even though he's not. What do they stand for? What are their positions? Do you know? If not, go find out. But in any case, all about the visual. Image, tied to visual. Visual, very importante. More postmen. Amount of information. So much crap out there. There used to be 3 networks. Now there's a bunch of them. So much information. We've got these 24-hour news things. Do we have really 24 hours worth of news? No, we get a news report about, a stupid stuff. That breaking news. What is breaking news? Little Timmy broke his nose. Which sounds bad. I'm sorry, Timmy. But basically, there's way too much information out there. There's no way in the world, actually, because we could contextualize everything, and we constantly bombarded with messages. If we spent our day trying to figure out and truly understand everything that we're bombarded with, we couldn't do anything else. Yeah! I agree with that sentiment. I second that emotion. But in any case, okay. And then the next thing, so there's just a lot of information. So, invisible technologies, where? I don't know. I don't see them. You are an invisible technology. Yes, you are. Language, statistics, the visual. Everything's about the visual. What the visual metaphors, visual things. Selling burgers with Paris Hilton? What? What does she know about cows? So this idea about visible technologies, we don't have the capability of understanding all this stuff, and then we just, people are using public opinion polls, which might be flawed, might not be flawed. Postman calls all this information trivia, which places all information on the equal level, even though it isn't. That's why, we live in this culture also of like anti-intellectualism, like everybody's opinion is equal, which is part of postmodern perspective, but still problematic. You get some, Joe the plumber who, Joe knows what he's talking about. But the point of this is that persuaders today use many of these invisible technologies in an attempt to support their claims. As citizens in a media culture, we are often unable to evaluate the claims made by persuaders because we are unaware of these invisible technologies. I want to buy that shirt or that drug because I like living in a cabin. That looks nice. I don't care what the drug is, what the side effects might be. I want to be in a hot tub right now looking at mountains. But it's all about the visual, and all this type of stuff again. Okay. so that's Postman. Hopefully that makes sense. The next sort of section is this idea that, well, to review, just it's all context. So we need to understand, when we're trying to understand theoretically persuasion, try to be effective practitioners of persuasion. When we're trying to be savvy consumers of persuasion, we need to understand that today's knowledge is fragmented, it's decontextualized, that everything is sound bites and very, very visual. That it's hard for us to process things because there's so much information out there. There's too much information. We really don't have all the various tools to sort of understand all that type of stuff. And then, you know, there's so many invisible technologies that we don't evaluate, and all this stuff sort of blurs together. But okay. Post-industrial culture. We are living in a post-industrial society. What does that mean? We don't really make stuff anymore. We sort of do, but not really. We make Barbies. And we make lots of Barbies. We make Barbies. Oh, I like this one. Ooh, look at that. I didn't even... Ooh, look at her little thing. She's sassy. This is my new Barbie. I don't like that one. Okay, this one's better. That was mean. I'm sorry. I feel bad for throwing Barbie. Okay, so more context stuff, more media age. We live sort of in the world of service industries, the type of jobs that people have now, particularly in tech stuff. It didn't even exist back in the day. People don't live in communities and work at the same places anymore, like, you know, factory towns or textile mill towns or anything like that. Everybody works someplace different. People in their communities probably don't know each other all that well. Do you know your neighbor? I'd like to be your neighbor. I know some of my neighbors, not all of them. You know, I know it's not like we hang out, but you know, people here are my neighbors. This dude isn't my neighbor, but so basically. We live in this post-industrial culture, and part of that is that culture is more stratified. It's more our social relationships are a lot different. We have relationships with folks on Facebook, and you know, not just people physically around us. Medium's always getting in the way. So again, fragmentation. Bye. Who is that? Is that New Kids on the Block or in sync, or does it really matter? Maybe which the guys from Broken Arrow here in town. I can't think of them. But in any case, so the sense of unity, that we're all together and everything like that, gone. Everything's about individual. He talks about how they live in Minnesota, apparently. Somebody read the New York Times online, somebody read. So nobody's reading the same news, nobody's watching the same stuff. I mean, you know, we're don't go to church together, or whatever. Well, some people do that, in any case. So persuaders then are faced with the challenge of targeting unique messages to specific individuals in light of this context. In addition, audience members struggle to define themselves in a post-industrial world. Who am I? Advertisers will tell you who you are. So target. Individuals. If anything, you get it from this little context stuff. Visual. Target. Individual. I do a little bit of shopping on J. Jill for my mom. What pops up on my Facebook account? Hey Jason, you want something from J. Jill? Pop. Okay. And then we live in a postmodern world. It's very complicated again. They have this just little tiny bit on postmodernism in this section. And I know there's a lot of folks who don't understand this. And the term itself is sort of wonky because people nowadays refer to anything that's sort of wonky as postmodern. It grew out of, again, it's sort of a backlash or reaction to modernism and the Enlightenment. And you have to understand all that type of stuff. If anything, you know, the idea of rationality and unity, and that there's a grand narrative and everything is wonderful and great, gone. But you have to read all these folks, like Nietzsche and all that. You got to get to understand it.